Now, we do have a Skype connection with our third guest who is with us today, Mr. Edip Uxel. I don't know if I pronounced your name correctly, but you can come on and correct me if I'm wrong. Are you there, Edip?
Yeah, I am there. I'm trying to record it too. I don't know whether the quality of recording would be better than yours.
Okay.
Hi, the gentleman who is talking, I didn't get his name. My name is Edip, E-D-I-P. Last name Yüksel, Y-U-X-Y-U-K-S-E-L. It means author excel, Edip Yüksel.
Okay.
And the gentleman's name?
That would be Dave Ejima.
I wish that you put his name there. Anyway, okay.
We also have another guest on here, Christian Prince.
Okay, Christine, and I didn't get his name again. I don't know how. Can you spell it for me?
Dave, as like the prophet David. Dave.
Dave. Oh, okay. Dave. Okay. Hi, Dave. Let me start with this. Today's Sunnis and Shiites are the #1 enemies of Prophet Muhammad and his message, and also the enemies, of course, of Jesus and Moses. Their message was monotheism. Their message was peace and justice, and also rejecting the traditions, superstitions of their ancestors. Now, as today's Christians has nothing to do with Jesus. Like the Christians who bombed Iraq, killed 1 million people, hundreds of thousands of children and women killed by those, they are not Christians. Or those killed who showered bombs, napalm bombs on Vietnam, they are not Christians. Or Moses has nothing to do with those Jews who went 2 years ago to Gaza and killed 2,000 people, claiming that there were peanut-sized rockets coming and killed no one except 2 soldiers where they were killing the Palestinians, and 500 children they killed. They have nothing to do with Moses. Or the Christians who burned the witches, they have nothing to do with Jesus. Or Christians who burned Tyndale, the first translator of the Bible, they have nothing to do with the same with Jesus.
So, what I'm getting from you is...
Let me finish. Or those who are making billions of dollars from military weapons, production of it, and selling around the world and creating wars in order to sell more. They have nothing to do with... There are tens of millions of people in the United States alone making big money out of these weapons that these terrorists are using. However, when I look at the word terror, what is the terror? Like in just last 20 years or 15 years or last century, Christians killed 666 times more than Muslims killed. Just look at the 2 world wars, Christian wars, just recent wars, Christians.
Let me ask you a question, because you've said a lot of things. Let me ask you a question. Now, you just said that Christians killed more than Muslims over the last 100 years, but at the same time, you said that those people who did those bombings in Iraq and those people who did bombings in Vietnam and different places, they weren't Christians. So I'm confused at that point. Could you clarify? You're saying that Christians have killed more people over the last 100 years, but in the beginning of your monologue, you said that those people were not Christians.
The newborn Christian president of the United States, which
supported
the newborn. Do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
The newborn Christian president of the United States, Bush, and his Christian supporters who prayed for him, voted for him. He made up lies.
Voted for him too.
He invaded Iraq. He killed 1 million Iraqis, according to Doctors Without Borders. A question for you Christians. Did you condemn them as one of the biggest terror acts in history? Did you condemn? Or did you condemn 2 years ago when 500 children, Palestinian kids, were killed by Nazis, by Nazi sympathizers?
So what I'm getting from you is that you
condemn that. I am asking you the honesty. I'm an honest person. I receive death threats from ISIS because I tell the truth to Muslims. I tell the truth to Christians too, but you don't have the courage, the honesty to criticize your crimes.
Okay. I don't have any crimes. But let
Here
me
is the
ask you,
crime.
you said that, so what I'm getting from you, from what you said, is obviously you do not consider ISIS or ISIS supporters or ISIS sympathizers or the people who are claiming to be mujahideen who have done over 12 terrorist acts this past week. You do not, it would be safe to say that you do not consider them to be real Muslims.
Oh, like you are not a Christian either. You are Christian. You are not following Jesus either, because Jesus.
I'm not following Jesus. Are you?
No, you are not.
How do you know I'm not following Jesus?
You are fake like your ancestors were,
My
because you are
ancestors?
following the teaching of Saint Paul, who is a hypocrite.
Well,
who is a
actually, my
Pharisee
ancestors were
of
African and
Pharisee.
they were enslaved by Muslims.
What did you say?
My ancestors were Africans and they were enslaved by Muslims.
Okay, let me tell you. Here is slavery in the New Testament. In the Old Testament, there are numerous verses.
But did you just hear what I just said? Sir, did you just hear what I said? You said that I wasn't a real Christian, and I'm an African American. My ancestors were brung over here on the transatlantic slave trade. Europeans purchased them from Muslims who established slave auctions in Africa, along the coast of Africa.
Slavery. Those Christians, they have nothing to do with Jesus, who are slave owners.
Okay.
And those Muslims, who are slave owners, they have nothing to do with Islam.
Muhammad owned slaves.
Excuse me.
Muhammad owned slaves.
No.
No, Muhammad did not own slaves.
Absolutely big lie.
Okay.
He freed slave.
Oh, okay.
He freed a slave.
Okay. How do you know if he? So, where in the Quran does it say that he freed a slave?
Okay. Now, do you want me to talk a little bit about slavery?
Can I?
No, I want you to answer my questions.
Okay. Here is the Quran says slavery is the biggest sin, is the unforgivable sin.
Okay.
Because slavery is shirk, polytheism. If someone enslaves another human, becomes his lord.
Okay.
It is in Arabic. It is Rabb.
Lord have mercy.
You know Arabic. Who
Can I-
knows Arabic here? Abd means the slave.
Okay.
A person cannot be the abd of another other than God. If a person claims someone to be his abd, means his slave, he becomes like Pharaoh. Pharaoh was Pharaoh. He was arrogant. He was the worst people because he enslaved people. He claimed that he is the Lord of other people.
Okay, I get you.
Slavery,
Thank you.
Slavery contradicts the most important principle of the Quran, Islam, which is the peacemaking, which is the system of all messengers, prophets of God.
Thank you very much for that answer. Now, I did ask where you said Muhammad didn't own slaves, and I asked where does it say in the Quran Muhammad didn't own slaves. But Christian Prince, let's get some of our other guests into this conversation.
Finally,
we don't want to just put it on one person. Christian Prince, what do you
All
think
right.
of what you just heard?
Finally, you put me on air. I'm muted. I'm trying to share, and this guy is rambling all over. First of all, you are changing the topic, and which is a sign of hypocrisy. Number two, you Muslims, you remember America that attacking Iraq when the Iraqi they came and kissed the shoes of George Bush to go, and you Muslims are the one who paid for the cost of the war, the Gulf War #1 and the Gulf War #2. You Muslims are the one who asked America to involve in Bosnia, and you kiss the shoes of America to protect the Muslims in Bosnia. You Muslims are the one who's asking the America right now to stay in Iraq after Obama he asked to withdraw. You Muslims are the one who asking America to stay in Turkey, your country, and you are the one who is giving them a base to stay in your country, and yet you hate America. You Muslims are a bunch of hypocrites and you have no dignity. Number two, you are a person who says that you Christians, you kill more. According to Christianity, we kill only to defend ourselves. The one who died by the sword, the one who killed by the sword will be killed. You Muslims are the one who attack us. For 600 years we have no crusade whatsoever. The crusade started after you Muslims attacked us, not before. For 600 years we never heard of crusade. Enter you Muslims, and your Turkey, actually the one you are living in, it is an occupation on our land. This is our land, and you speak about killing and attacking and taking the land of others. This is the Constantinia. This is a Christian land. You invaded, you Turkish. Number two, you said Islam is against slavery. In front of everybody is watching us, I challenge you to show me the verse in the Quran that says that slavery is a sin. Just to show everyone that you are making things up. Number three, you said Muhammad, he never owned a slave. I saw your translation of the Quran. Now let me tell you about those who follow Khalifa. They found the hadith exposing Muhammad, so they said to themselves, we are going to reject the hadith because hadith is exposing our prophet, who is nothing but a child molester, who is a criminal, who is a thief, who is a killer, who even spy at his own son wife when she was almost naked, and he forced his son to divorce her so he can have her. They rejected all the hadith, but now the Quran became a problem still, because a lot of stories in the Quran is very offensive. So what they come with is a new solution. Let us change the meaning of the Quran. So this guy, he come with a new interpretation of the Quran, and a new translation which fit with whatsoever with nothing. And he just said, we heard him, that the Shia and the Sunni are the enemies of Islam.
He did say that.
Who is left? How many like you in the world who believe in what you believe? 1,500? So according to you right now, all the Muslims are nothing and they are not Muslims. You are the only one Muslim left in this earth. So who care for you? Who count? You count for no one. You don't count for the Muslims. You don't count for anyone. Nobody accept your theories and your lies because simply you cannot support it. And now, let us go for academic talk. You said that we, the topic today is the month of Ramadan, and until now you said nothing about Ramadan. Now I challenge you, you as a Quranic person only, who don't follow anything except the Quran, to tell me where in the Quran it says you have to fast the month of Ramadan as 30 days from the sunset to the sunrise, and you don't eat, you don't drink, you don't etc. Can you show me? You cannot. So you are talking about fasting, but you do not know where to get fasting from. Can you show me a proof? And I would like the host to give you the mic back. I want to see from the Quran, Mr. Quran only, show me where in the Quran it says to you how to fast, when to fast, and where to fast, which mean the timing, the location, how to do it, how to stop, when to start. Can you show me?
Oh, those,
Gentlemen,
yes,
you started,
Mr. Adib, you're back.
You accused me of hypocrisy. Exactly you did. You made up many lies against Prophet Muhammad, against the Quran. You put them just like bullets, boom, 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 all the lies, all the distortions. And then you end up about fasting. You want me to talk about fasting. No, I will not talk about that. It is not an issue. Don't fast. Not important.
Sure. The title of the show is Ramadan.
I am going to expose your hypocrisy and your lies. Here it is. You said in the Quran you don't have a verse, correct, about the slavery, against slavery. Okay, let me give you the first numbers. 379. A prophet cannot make people servant to him. 379. Chapter 3, verse 79. Chapter 4, 3, 25, 92. Chapter 5, verse 89. Chapter 8, verse 67, chapter 24, verse 32, 33.
Hold on.
Verse 3,
You're spitting out verses, and the audience can't hear what you're saying.
Hold on.
The disbelievers, the ingrates, they do not free slaves.
Can you put me on?
Okay. We got your answer. We didn't understand half of the verses you said, but we got your answer. So, Christian Prince.
Yes. Listen. This guy, he have no dignity whatsoever. Listen carefully. He quote for us Quran chapter 3, verse number 79. Obviously, he don't speak Arabic. He do not know what Arabic is about. This one, it says, those who say, ما كان لبشر أن يؤتيه الله الكتاب والحكم والنبوة ثم يقول للناس كونوا عبادا لي. It's not for a prophet to say, be my slaves and worship me. This is not about owning slaves. You are a very funny Muslim. Read it carefully. It says, and even in your translation, it says that. You see how hypocrite you are? Don't be a servant slave to me to worship me. Okay. Don't be a
Muslim cannot worship Muhammad.
Listen. Ibad, the word ibad in Arabic, it's mean worshiping. It's coming from slaves, yes, but to be my servant worshipper, not to be my slave. And to show you that you are making things up, all the list of the verses you mentioned have nothing to do with what we are talking about. If we go right now to the Quran and we search for وَمَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانَكُمْ. Now I know you will say to us that مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانَكُمْ does not mean own a slave. The Quran says in different verses, If you could not fast, you have to free a slave. So how you can free a slave if you don't own a slave? That would be very funny and very naive of you to say. ما ملكت أيمانكم. Listen, just wait. It says in the Quran, it's forbidden for you to have sexual relationship with married women except those who you own, which means even they are married, you can have sex with them. I heard you speaking last week with Jay Smith. You said those are women, you have a contract with them. What do you mean contract? Are you saying in Islam you can have a contract with married women? Can you have sex with her?
Contract.
Are you saying in Islam you can have a contract with married women,
right,
and she is married and you have sex with her based on a contract? That would be the most dummy funny answer ever I heard in my life. The Quran is so clear, all the Muslims can go and read all interpretation around the earth by Muslims, not by Christians. It says it clearly, forbidden for you, the word muhassanat. Obviously you don't speak Arabic. By the way, you claim that you speak Arabic better than Arab. I challenge you to read for me the verse you just quote for me in Arabic, just to show everybody that you do not know Arabic, and yet you claim that you are translating the Quran. How someone cannot read Arabic?
I can teach you Arabic.
He translates the Quran. That is impossible.
Okay, so let's get a reaction, especially we don't want to be all over the place. We want to keep it a little restrained. You cited verse Surah 379. You said that would be a surah and an ayat that would say that the Quran forbids slavery. But we just heard the response of Christian Prince. What is your reply to that regarding Surah 379? How exactly does that forbid slavery?
Is it my turn?
Yes, I'm speaking to you.
First answer, how he asked question. First of all, he's very abusive. And if he continues these abusive insults, I am going to leave these things.
Well, we don't want you to leave, but you have been kind of abusive also.
Cut me too. I'm not cutting him. Now, two of you are cutting me. That's not the right way. If I invite you, I will treat you equally. I will give you words, and I will not cut you before that person. I will give you equal length. Here is gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
How a person who is fasting can be asked to free a slave. Here it is. The slaves of other people, they were Christians and Jews and pagans. Muslims had had agreements with them, peace agreements. They could not force them to free the slaves, but Muslims were buying slaves and buying their freedom. That's exactly, this is it.
It's unique.
And here it is. Let me answer. I give you in this book, I have all the verse numbers. Here, I know that you will make noise and it will not go anywhere. But I ask the readers, go channel19.org website. Over there, this is a PDF free available. Go check it. I give you all the things. In fact, slavery came from Christianity, from Judaism. Stoning to death, borrowed from you, has nothing to do with Quran, or killing apostate, again for you. I have lists of verses from the Old and New Testament. And it is a shame that you are like Sunnis that you are criticizing. You are no different. When you have power, you will be like them, and you were in the past. The reason you don't do right now, you have a proxy killers for you. Proxy killers are the governments.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. But we do have a caller. We do have a caller who has been sitting on hold for a very long time, and we don't want to make our callers sit on hold. We like having callers. We like having dialogue with the audience. So we have a caller, Edmund, who would like to maybe ask one of you a question. Do we have Edmund on the line? Nope, he's gone. Sorry about that. Unfortunately, we couldn't get to you, Edmund. As you can see, we're having a very lively dialogue. But Edib, he says he has all the answers in his book.
Let me answer, please.
Yes, go ahead, Christian Prince.
Listen, I want this guy, he claimed to speak Arabic, to read for us chapter 2, verse 178, to show everybody that you do not know Arabic, you have nothing to do with Arabic, and you can try your best to read it for us. And you will see the answer of all the claims you said. And by the way, you are saying we are the one attacked you. When the host gave you the microphone, you called us killers, you called us thieves, you called us corrupt, you called us criminals. You cause all kind of names, and when we respond to you, you cry, and you are going to close the door and leave like a child. That is not an act of an adult. Be a man and stay there and answer me, and let Allah be with you. He will help you. In chapter 2, verse 178, it says, "All those who you believe." You can read your translation, by the way. Huh? Read your translation. Come with your fabrication.
Let me read the Arabic. Prove you
sure,
that
go ahead. Go ahead.
That you are making up all the time. Even right now in front of me, you made up a lie about me.
Go ahead.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم القصاص في القتلى الحر بالحر والعبد بالعبد والأنثى بالأنثى فمن عفي له من أخيه.
Stop. Listen. What al-abdu bil-abd wal-hurru bil-hurr mean?
The free with the free, the slave with the slave.
Thank you very much.
It's not your slave. Listen carefully.
Okay, guys. One person at a time. We got to have one person at a time. One person at a time.
If a Muslim, he kill a free man, the free man will be killed. In the case of a slave, if a Muslim, he kill a slave, his slave will be killed. This is the madness of this religion. They got the law of Moses wrong. Eye for an eye. It doesn't work this way. So in this case here, it says if a free man kill a free man will be killed. But if a free man kill a slave, his slave will be killed. So how you say to us, Islam is against slavery, and Islam making a rule differentiate between a free and slave even in the case of murder. So if a free man kill a slave, a free man will not be killed for killing a slave. Instead, we will kill his slave, for it is eye for an eye. So you kill my slave, I kill your slave. And this is showing us how clear the lie you came with, saying that in Islam we are against slavery. Now, you know what? Everybody can go and read all translation of this verse by anyone they choose, and they will see how come you, Khalifa followers, you come with on your false fiction. And you are the one who said the word there is abd. And you are the one who translates saying slave for slave. Thank you very much. Now, listen carefully. Today we are talking the whole point.
Okay.
The whole point.
Okay.
The whole point.
Christian Prince, can I just interrupt you one quick second? We have to go to a break for one moment, and we can come back and we can get some answers, and we can ask some more questions to have some more dialogue. And in fact, we can ask Dave, who's been patiently sitting there quietly, his take on what's been going on so far. But we're going to take a break real quick, and we're going to come back. So don't change the channel. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Trinity channel.